Awesome. Okay. All right. I'm so excited, you guys. Here I am. It's a Monday. Um, it's day one of our intuition training. I'm so excited. I actually also decided to stream these live on YouTube as long as all the Wi-Fi goes well. You guys will be able to, share the YouTube video with your friends. And I'll probably paste that in our group, Your Spiritual Awakening Community on Facebook. And so I'm also live there in our awesome group, Your Spiritual Awakening Community. And I'm so excited for this week. I absolutely love giving you guys, helping you guys awaken to your spiritual gifts and supporting you through your spiritual awakening process. Those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Brandeline Johnson, right? I see some of you jumping there on YouTube. And I am a spiritual life and business coach. I'm a psychic medium, author, and educator. So welcome to today's live training. If you haven't already signed up, make sure you sign up so that you will get the access to the replays of these, and you'll be able to hey Rosa live on YouTube, hey Heather, hey Annie over there, hey Christine on YouTube. Make sure you guys sign up. I forgot to put the link in the YouTube video, but I'll definitely put the link around these videos wherever you're seeing them. So if you haven't already signed up, you can sign up, and you'll also get access to all the amazing trainings that we're doing this week. Today we're covering how to create space so that you can start working with spirit, working with and for spirit. So I'm going to cover a lot on that topic today. And hello, Lou from Florida. Let me know when you guys are here live. And you can also comment on the, on the replay to let me know what you think of these trainings. And then tomorrow we're going to be going into clairvoyant psychic seeing, and I'm going to cover all the clairs and empathy and mediumship this week, and I'm going to explain the symptoms of having all those. Been live for 2 minutes and 22 seconds. You gotta love those angel numbers. I'm going to share all the symptoms that come along with that part of your gift, because a lot of you guys are probably already experiencing some of these spiritual awakening symptoms. And I am here to let you know that you're not crazy, you're not making it up, and it's actually happening to you because you have that ability, and because spirit is actually kind of calling you into action for your purpose on this planet. And that is what I am super passionate about, and my purpose is to help you discover your abilities and pinpoint your purpose by utilizing those abilities to create a better life for yourself, but also to make a huge impact on our planet. So let's dive into today's training. Again, let me know if you are here live or if you're here on the replay. Super excited to jump into this this part. And so what we're talking about today is creating space so that you can work with and for spirit. And when I say spirit, I mean spirit guides, angels, your past loved ones. I'm talking about creating space so that you can receive information from the quantum field, so that you can be more in connection with your actual intuition and the actual muscles, the invisible muscles, all your clairs that are there for you. Hey Candace, live on in our group. And hello, Jasmine, a newbie. Right? You were led here this morning, and I am not even joking. Anybody that stumbles across this video, spirit sent you here, right? Christina's live on YouTube. Candace is live in the group, Your Spiritual Awakening Community. If you're not in there, feel free to join us, because it's a safe place where we don't think you're crazy, right? So when I'm talking about creating space, like you always hear all these spiritual people being like, I'm holding space for you, or let's create space. And it sounds funny, because really space is kind of like this nothingness, and you kind of need this nothingness. I did a training on this before where we're talking about Mona is on time today. We're talking about that empty space between your thoughts, right? We're talking about, there's the saying out there by like Rumi or somebody that says, you are not the thinker, you are the observer of your thoughts. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about creating space, because you have over 50,000 thoughts per day. And those thoughts are just random synapses based on your previous programming, your previous conditioning through all of your life, and based on what society says you're supposed to think is right and wrong, right? But when we're diving into spiritual awakening, when we're diving into intuition and mediumship development, we're diving into the empty space, because that is where spirit communicates with you between your thoughts. Again, spirit communicates with you between your thoughts, right? Your incessant thinking stops spirit from being able to get through, stops the voices from being able to be there. Like, how many of you guys, raise of hands, have been like staring into space, or even in the shower, because a lot of times they call it the shower goddess. You're just doing nothing. You're just zoning out. I used to call it zoning out when I was a kid, or just doing nothing, and all of a sudden you feel this bubble up inside of you, and you get this inspiration, and you all of a sudden know what you're supposed to take action on something. Or have you ever heard somebody say, like, you're working really hard on a project, and then you're like, I just need to get up and walk away for a minute. And what happens when you get up and walk away from the task at hand, and you just go out and stare at the clouds, or you go do something else, all of a sudden that thought, right, the inspiration, the thought from spirit makes its way through. Well, it was always there, but your mind chatter, me, is blocking it out. So the more space you could create, and intentionally creating this space, right? Intentionally creating this space, the more spirit's going to be there, especially if you're doing it intentionally. Because if you're sitting down and you're saying to spirit, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to be freaking quiet for a couple minutes, because I need you guys, whoever you are, right? Aliens, whatever, your higher self, angels, right? You're sitting down intentionally asking for guidance, and it's going to flow through you the more you're quiet and the more space you create. Okay? So now I'm going to explain to you, how can you create more space, right? So some of you guys are like, all the time, I leave this task at hand, go outside, and bam, I get the answer, right? How can you create more space so you can have spiritual guidance more of the time, and your life can be consciously created more than the 95% of unconsciously, right? I did a lot of study work on our subconscious mind and on our mind, because I've been teaching intuition and mediumship development for several years, and I'm super passionate about our consciousness and our subconscious mind. And so 95% of your life is actually unconsciously created by that mind chatter. So it's like junk in, junk out. And so in order to create a better life, and in order to receive divine guidance to actually counsel others, we're going to need to create more space. So one of our sweet girls that's on the live here, Candace, she a lot of what she does is she goes on walks in the woods. So when you're going on walks in the woods, or when you are communing with nature, key point here, you are in the frequency of the Mother Earth, right? I'm always talking to you guys about frequency. We're talking about the Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. It's usually like 7 point something hertz, right? The more that you are communing with nature, the more you are in that electronic frequency. I like to get really geeky and sciencey about when I teach, because for me, like, I came into it like, wow, this is really freaking cool. I can't believe I could talk to dead people. I can't believe I could see through time and space and bring information back through with my clairvoyance and my other gifts. Ooh, this is so freaking cool. But then I wanted to like wrap my head around it and be like, well, how does this really work? So I get really geeky and sciencey about the frequency, the energetic, right? You are an energetic being. You are vibrating at a certain frequency, right? That frequency determines how your life is going to be, and what you're going to receive. The more you spend with Mother Nature, the better your life is going to get all around, because you're vibrating with the heartbeat of your mama, your heartbeat of your mama Earth. So this is a fantastic way to create space, is by going on these nature walks and just spending time alone. Even right now, currently, while I'm making this video, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's lots of cement here. There's not a lot of nature, but there is, if you would look for it, right? So even out on the patio out here, just listening to the birds, zoning out on the traffic sounds, focusing on the birds, and giving gratitude and bubbling up with that energy. That's what's going to help you create space. Suddenly you'll get this aha moment. All right, so this is one way. Another way is, obviously, I talk to you guys about meditation like all the time. Like, if you ask me what is the number one thing I could do to develop my intuition, psychic, and mediumship gifts, meditate. And that's why today, day one's training is about creating space, because the meditation is what is going to start creating space. We talked a little bit about this last week in a training I did in your spiritual awakening community. But basically, meditation allows all these extra thoughts to burn off, burn off, burn off, because all of these 50,000 thoughts that you have per day are actually build up stress on your nervous system. The more stress you have on your nervous system, the less space you have for spirit to get through. On a side note, I get distracted. Like, they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, literally, I moved from Las Vegas, Nevada to Traverse City, Michigan, seven and a half years ago. That's when I had my spiritual awakening. And then I later on, just recently, about 6 months ago, read in a book about like these light beings and stuff. And this is kind of like maybe a little deep for some of you newbies, but the light beings that were saying we move people, we encourage people to move to different locations on planet Earth, because if it's too loud, if there's too much chaos and stress, you're not hearing us, starseed, right? You guys are all light workers. Anybody watching this, you're a light worker. You're here for something special, and there's people guiding you, and people like invisible people guiding you, and they want you to be able to hear them. So for me, it was like I had to leave the chaos of the city in order to get activated, so to say, or to awaken. And now I crave the feeling that comes along with it so much. I create space no matter where I'm at, if I had to listen to the birds or what. So meditation, I'm like 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You guys can do this, right? Even start out with just 5 minutes a day, or just even start out with 1 freaking minute a day by counting your breaths and being very mindful. We talk about that with mindful. Chemicals actually change in your mind. You start, we had some other trainings about meditation in our group here, but things actually change in your mind. Meditation is the one thing that's going to really exercise that third eye and make it more malleable. Honestly, I believe meditation is actually a form of spiritual protection, because it allows you to be in that space of the divine. It allows you to be in the space again of where all of consciousness is. And when you get in that space, it renews you, it renews your energy, and it reminds you not to be a jerk. Right? It reminds you not to be a jerk. So start out with just counting your breaths. I'm breathing in once, I'm breathing out once, I'm breathing in twice, I'm breathing out twice. Don't judge your practice. Don't judge your meditation practice. It is a practice for that reason. The longer you go without meditating, or the more stressful your outside human experience is, the more difficult meditation might be for you in the beginning. And that's okay. And just don't judge it. If you start thinking about hot dogs for lunch, just go back and be like, it's all right. I'm breathing in once again. I'm breathing out once again, okay? So that's one of the things that's really going to create space for you. Now, somebody had asked me a couple weeks ago, hey, will you do a training? Because I'm always doing trainings in our free trainings in our group, your spiritual awakening community, as part of giving back and helping you guys awaken to your spiritual gifts. Somebody was like, hey, can you talk to us about journaling? And she's one of the gals that is in my Awaken program, which opens doors tomorrow. I'm so excited. 111 people, the last I checked, are on the waiting list, ready to awaken with me and work with me. Good morning, fellow light workers. William says, hey, Krista. Hey, William. Hey, Leslie. I'm seeing all you guys join live on the Facebook Live. So anyways, journaling is another form, right? So remember, I was like, meditation is the number one thing I always tell people to start with if you want a spiritual awakening or to connect with this other realm, right? The second thing is journaling, right? Meditation, journaling, right? What is journaling, right? You're like, what the hell? I gotta get a journal? Yeah, I know. It's kind of like this foreign thing to a lot of people. Like, I gotta sit down, like, dear diary. You know what I mean? Like, makes you think like you're a little kid. But I don't care, even if you have to even if you sit down with your journal and you literally like, dear diary, I washed my hair today and the sun is shining through the window, right? Hey, Sandra, live on YouTube. Hey, girl. I don't care how you start out your journaling, but if you get pen to paper, something magical starts happening, okay? I'm always talking to you guys about putting your logical mind in the back, right? And allowing your emotional mind to come to the forefront. That's a huge way to create space. If our logical mind gets put in the back and our emotional and an intuitive mind could get to the front, that's where spirit operates, in that space. And how do we do that? Obviously, meditation, right? But secondly, a great time to journal, one of my tips for you guys on when to journal right after you meditate. You're still in this place. You're still in that place, but that's like between waking and between sleeping. That's when the space is there, right? How many of you guys have had experiences that you don't understand that happen upon waking or falling asleep? That's when that you're in the space, you're in the zone, right? So after you're done meditating, get your journal and just start writing. My name's Brandaline, and this feels really dumb, and then start talking about your emotions, and start you could even do an intentional journaling, like, what was my past life, I wonder, and all of a sudden you maybe will start getting some visions and some feelings and some emotions will bubble up inside of you. And the big thing with the journaling too is I always tell my students in the Awaken program, you have to trust and allow. I would say you should just get it tattooed right on your forehead: trust and allow, right? That's the number 4 thing that's most important when we're developing our intuition. But what happens when you journal is your logical mind does take a back seat. Your imagination and your emotions come to the forefront, and you're allowed to be in that childlike place, and you're allowed to just journal about whatever it is. Like, who's my angels, who's this journaling does so many magical things. I actually use journaling in my business, right, in my spiritual online brand, because when I could sit down and go, well, how are we going to create this goal, right? How am I going to set this intention to achieve this goal in my business? And you sit down and you journal, and divine inspiration will come through in that space. But you have to create space. $1,000,000 ideas come from space, right? You don't get an inspiring thing happening to you if your head's down and you're going through your human experience like following the societal norms. You don't. If you look at your daily, things that you do, and if they look like something that someone else has done, you may look 5 years into the future of that person that you're kind of acting like, and you're going to see what your life is going to be like. So this is why it's so important for you to have time alone in this empty space for your own life, for you to get the divine inspiration that comes through. The more you slow down, the better your life will be. We've all been taught that you have to hustle. We've all been taught that you have to work hard to create money. And I could go off on a whole friggin' money mindset thing here. But it goes hand in hand. All this stuff goes hand in hand. And so creating space by journaling is another amazing way. So we talked about being in nature and being in that frequency, right? That's what I would love for you guys to do. Like, take a picture of yourself outside today and put it in our group for like brownie points, right? I'll push like on it. I love all you guys on the YouTube that are like all talking to each other. It's cute. Hey, Suzette on Facebook. So create some space for yourself. Stare at the clouds today. Like, zone out and tell me what inspires. Sorry. I'll be back in a minute. My phone rang, and poor YouTube people are like, what happened? I'm frozen on YouTube. Dang it, man. Okay, I'm back, I think. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to keep talking. So go create some space by being in nature. Zone out, stare at the clouds today. Start your meditation practice. This is what's going to allow spirit to communicate through you, right? Yeah, Krista says she's working. She's going to have to catch the replay later. I still feel like I'm frozen on YouTube, so I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. No picture. Dang it, man. And it froze me in the dumbest picture thing. But anyway, the audio is still going. And so meditation, you guys start your meditation practice. Start asking for the shower goddess to be there when you take a shower, because when we're also doing, that's another way to create space. I'll talk about that really quickly. When we're doing mindless tasks, when we're doing things that we do all the time, like how many of you guys have been like driving to work or driving to a destination, and you get there and you don't even remember turning left and turning right, or you don't even consciously recall getting off the freeway. Like, how many of you guys have that happen? It's because, I'm glad you guys can still hear me. Thank you, Sandra, for letting me know. It's because um, you have zoned out. You have started doing something that you do so many times, like washing your hair. Like, you don't know if you wash your hair before you shave your armpits or not, because you do it so many times every single day. That's when you're creating space, because you're allowing your body, your conscious mind, to go on autopilot, and you're allowing your your subconscious mind and all of your third eye to connect to that invisible space. So this is why car rides we get inspiration. This is why in the shower we get inspiration. This is why when we're in nature we get inspiration. And this is why, like, a lot of people that are joggers or runners, they have that runner's high. That's why they get inspiration. It's because you're doing something that you always do, right? You're doing something that you always do, and so you're not thinking. Keywords here. You're not thinking, right? So this is how you start creating space. And the more you do it, right? Mercury retrograde loving me today. Somebody says, yeah, yay. Yay for Mercury retrograde. It's almost over. The more consistent you are about creating space, the more consistent you are about meditating and then journaling afterwards, as soon as they know that you are doing this so that you will hear or see or feel them and what they have to say, as soon as they know, they're going to show up, right? And the more consistent you are, the stronger it gets. It's just like a muscle, people. You don't open your front door and run a marathon. You exercise for it, and you get really good, and your body gets defined. And then pretty soon, you don't even think about it. You just, bam, you're running a marathon. And that's what happens when you take, my name isn't Sandra, William. I know there's somebody else on YouTube saying I can hear you, but thank you, William, that's saying that you can hear me too. The more you exercise, the better it's going to get, the stronger it's going to get. You guys, I'm so excited about tomorrow. The Awaken program opens for enrollment. So excited. Everybody that enrolls tomorrow is also going to be helping me hit a massive goal. And everybody that enrolls and pays in full gets like a $1,111 deal from me in cash savings and content, and bonus content. So hit me up if you're one of those people that are ready to, like, jump in our Awaken program and pay in full. But otherwise, go to brandaleen.com/awaken. Again, that's brandaleen.com/awaken. It's brandaleen.com/awaken. You guys can find me on Instagram at Spiritual Awakening Babe, or on YouTube. You guys are all awesome watching me there. And sorry I froze, but at least you can hear me at Spiritual Awakening Babe on YouTube. I have tons of videos there, but also on my website, brandaleen.com. There is tons of free content there. And in our group, you guys, I love you guys, your Spiritual Awakening community, if you're on Facebook. But I'm doing this on YouTube because I got lots of Facebook rebels, and I love you for being a rebel. Rebels rule. So I'm loving you guys. Tomorrow's training is going to be on clairvoyance, psychic seeing. We're going to dive really deep into that clair, the symptoms, the life purpose that goes along with it, and you guys are going to blow your mind. So Christine is asking me, so is it true? Where'd her comment go? I don't know where her comment went. I think she was saying, is it true, something about psychic hearing? We're going to cover clairaudience, psychic hearing on Wednesday. So Christine, if you're not on there, I don't know how to, I don't know how to see your chat thing. I don't know. I'm not, like, so YouTube savvy, right? But I'll go back. I'll reply back to you, Christina. But Christine, you're going to want to be on the live on Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific time is when I'm doing all these trainings all this week. You guys, excited. So I will talk to you all soon. I am sending you all love. I have no freaking clue how to stop this on YouTube, but I love ya, and I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you invite your friends to our group too.